Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, an overview infrastructure development in Hong Kong since the 1990s, joining hosts by ICHK JNS and the City University of Hong Kong. I'm Henry, the MC of today. We are pleased to have Mr. Raymond Wong as our speaker with us today this evening. Mr. Raymond Wong served a technical consultant in the construction technology for the China Trend Building Press and distinguished technology consultant and information provider for construction project. He reowned his comprehensive documentation of Hong Kong infrastructure development, have compiled intense photo archive of over 80,000 image of major building and infrastructure project. His emphasis span complex structure, including the high-rise building, long-span structure, bridge, railways, tunnel, and the marine works. Mr. Wong's research interest encompasses construction safety and the infrastructure development in Hong Kong and mainland China, contributing significantly to the understanding of the large-scale construction project and advancing the field through his distinguished career in construction technology and documentation. Without further ado, please pass over to Mr. Raymond Wong.
Okay. First of all, thank you for ICE JNS inviting me to present this presentation. Within an hour or so to deliver a story, I call it a story because we will overview whatever is a review of the past 40 years, sometime more than 40 years. So I try my best to control the timing and give you a good illustration. Okay, maybe let me start. Now, I will subdivide my talk into these 7 areas. First of all, I will talk about an overall review since 50 years ago it is, because during the past 50 or even 60 years, we have some milestone in the development. I will show you more about this. After that, infrastructure is something what we call civil work. For example, construct a railway, construct a highway, there's a kind of civil work. So I will talk a little bit more about technology, civil technology, and the elaboration should be very interesting. The third topic will talk a little bit about the airport core project. By that time, we built the Chek Lap Kok Airport. The fourth topic is categorized into the highway projects. After that, the railway project. And I do not know whether you know this or not. In 2007, by that time, our CE, Donald Trump, had launched a very big project called 10 mega infrastructure projects. And of course, the detail I will show you a little bit later. And finally, I will talk about major land formation. Because Hong Kong, you know, we do not have much land. So we need to create some land. That is what we call land formation. Now, I start from the first subtopic. Now, what's the milestone? I subdivide into 4 major sections. Soon after the World War II, I call it the recovery period. By that time, Hong Kong was quite poor. So what we need is to provide some housing for a lot of incoming population. And a little bit about the history, you know that China, after 1949, it become the what we call the new China. So by that time, a lot of people getting out from China and went to Hong Kong. We have to accommodate a lot of this kind of incoming population. But by that time, we are quite poor, so we can only build some very basic housing, what we call the resettlement estate. In Chinese, we call it 徙置區. And for people like me, we have a lot of friends or relatives living in that kind of very poor housing. Now, in fact, I can talk within 3 hours for this title to lie, but I got only 60 or 70 minutes at least to squeeze everything and just have a basic discussion without further detail. Okay, after that, during that period, we developed a basic road network. For example, all of you know 龍翔道. Long Chang Do, it had a history of almost 70 years. It was opened in 1961. So with this roadway, sometimes it is also a kind of highway. It can link the eastern part of Kowloon to the west easily, other than going to Kowloon City, Mongkok, so congested area. And of course, we need to settle a lot of population to create some functional zone, such as Tsuen Wan, Kwun Tong, and we call that satellite towns. That is what they did during that period. And after that, it comes to the 1970s. And the economic situation of Hong Kong, what we call taking off. And the economy, the finance, industry are so good at that time. And so we have some new leads. So we have this kind of work being done. Develop the new towns, formation of new land. Now, what kind of new land? For example, you know, 秀茂坪. When I was still a schoolboy, in fact, we are doing some kind of site formation in the nearby area of Kwun Tong. There's 秀茂坪, Lam Tin, and also on the new territory side, like Tsuen Wan, Kwai Chung. In fact, there's a lot of land formation, just like what we call site formation in the current period. And soon after, because of our industry is so strong, we need transportation, to be exact, container port. And you know, during the 1970s, we start to construct railway. Railway, to a certain extent, is what we call MTR. We start constructing the first generation of MTR, such as Kwun Tong Line, Tsuen Wan Line, Island Line, in the mid-1970s. And at the end of 1970 or in the beginning of 1980, we have the MTR. And at the beginning, the resettlement estate is not good enough. So we start other large-scale public housing in a rather better condition. But it's not so good enough. But if you look at the public housing right now, such as the Harmony Block or a similar type of public housing, they are in fact quite perfect. But even sometimes better than private estate. Okay, the industry in Hong Kong is still growing. So we have some industrial estate, like Tai Po Industrial Estate, Yuen Long Industrial Estate. But soon after, we don't have too much industry. So this is cooling down. Okay, finally retired at International Finance Center. So in Central, we do a lot of input to make Central become a world-class financial center. Okay, after the 1990, something big is going. You know, the Kai Tak Airport. It is a well-established international airport for the Kai Tak, but everybody knows that is within a very congested downtown, and it's not good enough, or to be exact, not sufficient for a modern city. So during that period, in the 1990s, we construct a new airport. And after constructing the new airport, we construct a lot of railway, highway, and make Hong Kong seamless, very efficient in our internal transportation. And of course, we have to face further development. In this case, so Science Park, Cyberport get developed. The effect is good a lot. This is not a matter of discussion here. Okay, anyway, we another core economy for Hong Kong is the tourism. So we need a theme park. So we have the Disney Park. And port development also continue during the 1990s and at the beginning of the millennium. The container port in Hong Kong went the first globally. Hong Kong container port is not one of the busiest ports. It's ranking number 1. But soon after, some other port in China or in other country replace Hong Kong. Right now, Hong Kong, the container port in Hong Kong dropped outside the first 10. Okay, land formation. During that period, we continue of some other very large-scale land formation project. I will discuss about this later on. And okay, after 2005, now because during 2007, Donald Trump, you know, he initiated a very big project or very big idea called the 10 major infrastructure projects. And I will talk about this later. And everybody know that the North Metropolis and the Land Tomorrow Vision. And this is just a very brief summary. Now, I try to use some photo to impress you. This photo, of course, was not taken by me. You can see the development of Sha Tin New Town. I know all of this because my age during my early time, for example, when I was in the secondary, I do the rolling, you know, rolling here in this water channel here. And now the green area here I show you using the cursor is an island, but to extend for the new town, this area here is the Sha Tin New Town, and the opposite side is Ma On Shan. By the time it was not Ma On Shan New Town, just doing some reclamation. This area is Lake Yuen, Xiu Lake Yuen, little Lake Yuen area. Now, just some photo taken from the internet. All about Sha Tin. Another very important new town is Tin Mun. This photo, of course, was not taken by me, but I know this area quite well. I graduated in 1977. my second job, that is in 1978, I worked here to develop some estate. So this photo shows some of my memory. That is Twin Moon. Now here, so somewhere here is right now the Twin Moon Station, the Westview Twin Moon Station. Here is Siuhong Station. Okay, come to the second topic. Talking a little bit about technology, but they are related. Now, I try to highlight this topic related to civil technology. First of all, groundwork, slope work, foundation work, land formation work, reclamation, marine works, road work, beach construction, tunneling work, steel work, complex structure, heavy lifting. This is what I try to categorize in a convenience and comprehensive way to explain about civil technology. I will explain this using photo. Now, groundwork. Any work underground is groundwork. I use photo to show you the example. Now, this photo, I don't think anyone of you can tell where it is. Can anyone tell me where it is? Yes, Horman Tin Station. It is part of the Sha Zhong Xin, to be exact. But by that time they call it Sha Zhong Xin. And it was by that time just a very big, very big hole inside a piece of rock. All the area here are a piece of rock. And this one is Grantham Road, a project belong to the URA. I took this photo 2 years ago. And this is also another URA project, the Wan Chai District Redevelopment. Now, all this work are work underground, so I call it groundwork. And this is also a railway station. This is the Zhang Quan Line Hang Ho Station. I took this photo also. Almost 95% of the photo I showed you was taken by me. Now, groundwork, some working inside the ground. The ground for Hong Kong very often is rock. We dig down into the ground. Usually, we can find rock. Even we have soil on top. The soil, the earth is often very thin. Do you know where it is? The site for the expressway in West Kowloon. This is on the Changi Island, the foundation or the anchor for the Chiang Mai Beach. All this photo, okay, this two photos was all taken by me. Now, also groundwork. Do you know underpinning? Underpinning is to stabilize. For some time, we do some work very close to a building. The building has foundation, you know, and for sure you will disturb the foundation. But we can do something to stabilize it. In general, we call it underpinning. So this building, this three photo belong to a building. This building was the new wings of the Yau Ma Tei police station. Because of the central Kowloon bypass, we need to disturb this building. But luckily, just run by the side, just very close to the building here, and we can save the building by underpinning it. And this was, well, do you know what is on top of this foundation? On top of this is a footbridge. So that is part of the Tuen Ma line, and in Jordan area. and we do some kind of work like this to underpin the foundation of the foot beach. Now, okay, slope work. Slope work is sometimes we also touching the rock or touching the soil, but it's all underground. Now, slope work, a lot of purpose why we need to carry out slope work. For example, here is Butterfly Valley, 蝴蝶谷啊。Because the wood edge coming from Taiwan go through this virgin land. By that time, it was quite a virgin land, no development anywhere here. And it need to give way to a very gigantic flyover. So we need to cut the slope to give way for the carriageway to pass through. And here is also, here is a new roadway is cutting somewhere here. This is in Chingy Island. And this is for slope stabilization. Two-Moon Highway here. Now, also, sometimes we construct a highway. A lot of slope work we need to carry out. This is for the Western Corridor. 響下村嗰邊啊，響屯門嗰度叫做咩啊？啲地名啊，虎地啊，虎地一路 cut 過去，響呢度咧，前面係下村，一路對出咧就去嗰個後海灣㗎啦，啊！嗱，OK，and another topic within civil technology is about foundation. Now, simple foundation, everybody know that. Very often we have foundation drive-in foundation of that size, and of course we use a gravity hammer to push to drop the pile inside the ground, become a foundation. But this is far not enough for high-rise building. So sometimes we use this kind of what we call RCD, reverse circulation drill. Using this machine, we can produce a ball pile, I call it a pile, at least 2 meters in diameter, sometimes 2.5, 3 meters. Right now, as far as I understand, we can use this machine to produce 3.5 diameter large size ball. Okay, how about this? Now, in Hong Kong, we have several foundations working like this. This 4 big hole, each one is, as far as I can remember, is 28 meters in diameter. And this is the foundation for the center in Central, 中環中心, the center. And because the center was a structural steel building, so they put in the steel column down to the bottom of this cover dam. And the foundation is a very thick concrete plate of at least 3 meter deep. Now, how about this kind of foundation? Now, this foundation was for the beach tower for Chiang Mai Beach on the Chingy side. And this was the stone-covered beach on the stone-covered island side. And this foundation was for the beach tower for Ting Kau Beach. Okay, this is what I give you, how I give you example for foundation. You can see that they are civil work, not for building. Okay, after that is about site formation. We need a lot of land in Hong Kong anytime. So I personally follow at least 3 site formation projects from day one almost to the completion. Now, here is Choi Wan site formation. This photo was taken by me maybe 12 years ago. I get up to the top, to the rooftop of a building on the other side to take this photo. Right now, it is located with 5 public estates. So this photo is historical. This is the Anderson Road site formation. Anderson Road site formation has an area, to me, at least twice the size of Victoria Park. You know, Victoria Park is a very, very big area. And the Anderson Road site formation is twice the size of Victoria Park. But unfortunately, it's undulated, not a completely flat ground. So we can only construct some estate here and there. This is 水泉澳 site formation. 水泉澳 site formation. From the point of scale, the size of 水泉澳 is a little bit smaller. Site formation is not only for this kind of big project. Here is Wan Chai, Hopewell Center, Hopewell 2. Hopewell 2 was constructed on a slope. And they need to siphon this slope to make the building possible to locate within. I also followed this project almost 6 to 7 years for the Hopewell 2 construction. It's very interesting and very challenging. Now, you can call it a kind of wall work. This is the interchange for the Jiangnam Tunnel on the Lam Tin side. Here is Lam Tin, and here is the East Harbour Crossing. This is the tolling station for the Cross Harbour Tunnel. And they need to cut the size of this area to provide the interchange getting into the Jiangnam Tunnel, Jianguanhou Lam Tin Tunnel. And this is a piece of solid rock. And during the site formation here, it worked at least 4 years before you can see the road work. Again, I follow this project completely. Okay, the next topic is about reclamation. Now, reclamation is not so simple as you think. Just pour in some sand filling, whatever, just fill up the seaside. It's much more complicated than that. Because we have a lot of underground facility within. Here is Central Reclamation Phase 3. And this Dongchong Reclamation. This Chuen Wan West Reclamation. Here is also Chuen Wan West. Sometimes we do reclamation, the purpose is quite limited. For example, this piece of land area so reclaimed is not so big. It's what we call the Chuen Wan West. The purpose of this reclamation is to accommodate a facility. What to accommodate? The Westville Chuen Wan West Station. Here is the Chuen Wan West Station. And without this piece of land, we cannot locate a major railway line called the Westville. This is This photo show you the central reclamation phase one. And without this reclamation, we cannot construct the airport railway. Without the airport railway, the new airport is useless, almost useless. So we do quite a large scale reclamation in central here. And this is phase 3. This is phase 3 reclamation. Do you know where this is? This little corner here. Timber Government Office. Why it called Timber Government Office? Because before that, it was the Timber Dock. It belonged to the Royal Navy. And so the phase 2 reclamation is here. And so the remaining, we call it the phase 3 central reclamation. This photo was the artificial island for the Guangzhou Daiqiu. I can talk more than an hour about each topic here. For example, reclamation, I can talk an hour and show you a lot of examples. And whatever, site formation, the same. Anyway, I only get 17 minutes. Okay, marine well. It's not easy to define what is a marine well. To me, anything well in the harbor, I just call it marine well. This photo shows you the cruise terminal on the, no. This is a container terminal line. Because I have a lot of this project, so sometimes I get confused. This photo was taken by me. 9號貨櫃碼頭 on the Qingyi side. And here is for the Guangzhou Daiqiu. And here is the Castle Peak, Qingshan. And this is for the advanced work for the man-made island. This is a central reclamation phase 3. Do you know what it is? Anyone can tell? This is the Kuntong line. You know Kuntong line from Tsimsha, the next station will be empty. And they need to do something to protect the tunnel underneath. This is not a tunnel. This is only the protection layer for the Chunwan Line tunnel underneath the water. So you can see reclamation is not just pouring some soil or sand into the harbor. A lot of groundwork need to be done. Now, again, it works on the seaside. This is for the Hong Kong Shenzhen Western Corridor. 如果你哋返大陸去深圳灣咧，就行呢度。You can see there's a roadway here. This roadway is only temporary, a working access. Here, the work here is to construct the column for the Western Corridor. Everything you can see here is temporary work, except for the foundation. They are doing some large diameter bore power. I need some water. Okay, road work. Now, road work is a single roadway and become a system. We call it a highway system. For example, Route 8, Route 3, Route 5, a lot of this kind of highway system. Okay, anyway, make it simple. Now, usually we call wood roadwork. It's not just at grade, just working on the ground. It is too simple. What I describe as challenging roadwork, maybe some elevated, 高架橋, sometimes we call it viaduct, in the form of a viaduct. It's not easy to tell. Now, the photo on the left-hand side is the new linking road for the Choi Wan site formation. On top here, you can see, you cannot see here, is a Choi Wan site formation. I don't know why they call it Choi Wan site formation, because quite far away is the Choi Wan estate. Here is, in fact, quite far away from the Choi Wan estate. But anyway, they give the naming for that project called Choi Wan estate. Right now there is at least 5 estate. 財乜財物嘅財福、財德、財乜咁樣，有幾條村喺度嘅。Because this new land area is quite above ground. Below is the 觀塘 road, 觀塘道. So they need to construct some roadway linking down to the roadway down below. To construct an elevated roadway is not so difficult, but you need to work on this type of rugged ground is much more difficult than you think. Now, the photo here I show you is the diversion of the 加士居道. This is part of the Central Kowloon Bypass project. Because the Central Kowloon Bypass is underneath this highway, and they disturb the foundation, so they need to relocate this. I don't know how to say in English. Usually you call it 加士居道. And the 加士居道right now you are driving, it's not the one that you drive on some years ago. It was realigned. The above one is the 西部走廊 linking to 深圳灣. Now, this is what I mean by highway system. And the major road here is Route 3, or the West Kowloon Expressway. The West Kowloon Expressway is part of the Route 3. And this roadway under construction was Route 8. This photo was taken by me in a estate in Leicester. I just try to give you an idea about sometimes you call it simple term. Roadwork was so difficult, but you can see this is the real case for a highway network or a highway system in Hong Kong. For example, Route 8, it was still under construction, Route 8. It at least 20 kilometers long from Tai Wai up to Tsing Ma Concourse, not to include some other extension, finally getting to almost Lo Wu side. Within that 20 kilometer length of the highway system, it passed through a lot of area. It had tunnel, it had beaches, it had slope cutting, a lot of work need to be done. There's also Route 8, getting to Cheng Yi. This is Cheng Yi Island, and the container terminal here, you can see is container terminal number 9. You can see a beach under construction. This beach is Stone Color Beach. Okay, get to beach construction. In fact, sometimes highway construction contain a beach, but I isolate beach to discuss as a separate topic. I show you exact example. This one is Ding Khao Beach. This is a cable stay beach. This one is Cup Sui Moon Beach. Again, a stable K beach. This is quite familiar, Chiang Mai Beach. And this is Tonga Beach. We call this long span beach. There is also Songkhla Beach. I took this photo. That is Thailand Bay. Thailand Bay. This beach was constructed as part of the Castle Pit Road improvement project. 20 years ago, by the time Tuen Mun Highway get some traffic accident, all the vehicles get down to the Castle Pit Road. But by that time, 20 years ago, Castle Pit Road was a very old roadway. Castle Pit Road was constructed almost 100 years ago. So it cannot take up something emergent, like the Tuen Mun Highway get accident. So at least 25 years ago, that is at the beginning of the millennium, a new project called Castle Pit Road Improvement Work. That is a very large-scale improvement work to this old roadway called Castle Pit Road. And this beach was one of the items that improved the Castle Pit roadway. I don't have time to discuss too detail in everything. Okay, the following topic is about tunneling. Almost all the major highway in Hong Kong, we have one or sometimes even more than one tunnel. For example, the Route 8 starting from Tai Wai, it had 2 tunnels just within Sartine area. And after that, there's the, Kowloon Reservoir, 馬騮山啊，石梨貝水塘 underneath 石梨貝水塘, or sometimes we call it the Kowloon Reservoir. There's also another tunnel for the Route 8. And after that, we have a long beach called the Songkhla Beach. And reaching Cheng Yi side, we have the Lam Wan Tunnel before it gets to the Cheng Yi Concourse. This photo was taken by me. Almost every tunnel, I have a chance to go inside and have some study inside. Due to time limit, I just show you some photo. But here, I need to talk about more. Nowadays, to construct a tunnel is not so difficult. Our technology, tunneling technology, is good enough to handle the construction of this kind of tunnel. Now, the problem is that how we can get inside the mountain. A mountain, we cut through it. There's a big hole. That hole we call it a tunnel. But when you reach the side of the hill or the mountain, how you prepare for that? So you can see here is the preparation for the hillside or the slope in order to drill a hole into the mountain. Sometimes we call it the tunnel portal. And the photo here shows the same tunnel portal for the Lam Wan, this Lam Wan tunnel, yes. It is part of the Woodtake. This is on the Qingyi side, facing Kwaichong. After that, when they pass through this mountain in Qingyi Island, it reached the Qingma Concourse. We call it Qingma Concourse, Qingma Gaohui. And this is the beginning. You just cut the slope, stabilize the slope. And afterward, you really do something to make it to become an entrance. Okay, here we talk about steelwork. Steelwork. Steelwork, this is IFC2. It's a structural steel building. This free photo was taken by me in the IFC2. And here is Express Rail Terminal in West Kowloon. You can see two kinds of steelwork. The red one was just some temporary supporting work to support the construction of the canopy. And those in gray color was the steel frame or the steel truss. I suppose everyone have been to our express rail terminal in West Kowloon. You can see a very gigantic canopy. In fact, it is a series of steel truss, and they are doing the steel truss, the erection of steel truss. And the red frame was only a temporary support to convenience the installation of the steel truss. This is the center in Central, 中环中心. Sometimes you cannot easily classify this as a building work or civil work. But to me, I don't try to tell the difference because the technicality behind is really very challenging. Here is the canopy or the main truss for the express rail terminal. Is a very gigantic steelwork. So I try to categorize it into complex structure. It's really very, very complex. You can see a component. I show you two components. For example, here may be a component. Some other areas another component. And this tool is one of those very complicated components. Just show you one or two photos of that. And the weight of this component, I guess, is at least 30 tons. 30 tons. This piece of steel weighs at least 30 tons. I categorize this under complex structure. That is, in fact, very complex, very complicated structure. How about this? Now, this is the cruise terminal in Kaitang, 郵輪碼頭. I studied the construction of this building, of this facility. It's really very complicated. A lot of the component was using precast element. And the building is a very gigantic building. And the span, you can see the span here, again, a very, very, very long span. Heavy lifting. In Hong Kong, we need a lot of heavy lifting to construct something. Now, here is a link beach. One of the two, there's two link beach of this kind. This is the first one, linking between IFC 1 and 2. I suppose everyone had used this link beach, but you may not realize you are crossing a beach. First of all, they erect the roof truss on the ground, because erect something on the ground is much easier. And after that, they lift it up to the rooftop using some hydraulic means. And after that, and they suspend the floor. You can see here that there are 3 stories down below. And those 3 stories are just suspended by the roof truss. This is another very famous project. The lower photo shows you the extension to the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. The first one I showed you just now on a man-made island, but here is the extension. The demand for exhibition is very huge in Hong Kong, and we can get a lot of money. It becomes a core economy for Hong Kong for exhibition and tourism. And the location for a convention center or exhibition center is not enough. So almost 12 years ago, we start constructing this extension. Now, they are both. I don't think you can realize where it is. It is Asian 赤鱲角嗰個叫乜鬼亞博會 Asian Expo. It was constructed by Jakarta. You can see that. And the span here, I guess, more than 60 meters. And it erected on the ground, and later on leave it out using this kind of machine. We call it sling jig, to leave it on top. Here, 戲曲中心. The contractor was Hiping. Again, the main theater for 戲曲 center, 佢照譯嘅黐出 theater 戲曲中心. Now the main theater, there's several theater for this 戲曲中心. I was there several times, and the main theater was suspended. Here is inside in the future will be the main theater, and it was erected at the ground level and lift it up so that it can suspend. The reason of that is they explain for the noise barrier, because it is being suspended, so the noise transmission can be easily insulated. Heavy lifting. This is the prefabricated deck for the Chiang Beach. This is for the Stonecutter Beach. A lot of this equipment is to some extent quite common, using sting. Hydraulic jig, and the cable, we call it sting, a sting jig system. The final topic related to civil technology, maybe I just call it environmental related. In Hong Kong, we have several major projects for this, or major facility for this. Here, the photo, this photo I point here was the landfill site for at 將軍澳 垃圾堆填區and it's not easy to handle solid waste. It may not be 垃圾we call it solid waste. Solid waste because sometimes you demolish a building, there's a lot of debris, and those kind of material, we call it solid waste. And this photo is some drainage or water treatment plant. After the millennium, the environmental requirement for Hong Kong is getting much better. A lot of this kind of facility for drainage work, for water treatment work. We have a lot of this kind of treatment plants in Hong Kong. The photo I show you here is in Kai Tak. It is a water treatment facility. And the concept right now is to make this kind of facility look very green. And you cannot have any smell. It doesn't look ugly. It is a fully in a green design. Also, upgrading the environment. Here, this 3 photo taken with a span of at least 5 years. This one was the Kai Tak River. They call it Kai Tak River, but usually I call it Kai Tak Lala. It's not so good as a river. Now, when 40 years ago, or when I was a young guy, I was here, and the water here, it smelled. Because a lot of wastewater drain in the Lala here. But about 25 years ago, it started to upgrade the Kai Tak Lala. Before upgrading this kind of drain, you will call it a drain. You need to cut down all the draining in of the wastewater. So this not just cleaning up, more than just cleaning up the river. You need to do an advanced work to divert all the wastewater. Otherwise, you're going to clean up a Lala like this. And after that, they try to make it green. So we do some plantation here. Now, that is a very attracting project. I was here a few months ago. It's called the Island East Coast Broadway, 東區海濱板塊。I recommend you to go to have a look about this project. To some extent, it is also an environment project, environmental upgrading project. I don't have time to talk too much about this. Okay. I don't know whether you can recall this series of projects. We call airport core projects. This is an official name in the 1990s. Altogether, there are 10 projects, so we call 10 airport core projects. Without this 10 core projects, we cannot have a very functional airport. I read it, all these 10. First of all, of course, we need to build an airport, including the airport platform, including the terminal building, the new airport. The second is the airport railway. They are sometimes related or associated to each other. After that, the Lentil Link. And Lentil Link include the Chengwan Beach, the Kapsumin Beach, and the Ma Wan bypass. And after that, the Western Harbor Crossing. It became the third harbor crossing tunnel. And North Lentil Expressway, Route 3. Route 3 was constructed on the West Kowloon Reclamation. And Route 3, finally, it reached It reached the northwestern part of New Territory. Thailand Tunnel also is part of Route 3. It belongs to the Route 3 country part section. And Central Reclamation, I briefly described it just now. And Dongcheng New Town is also part of the airport core project. Some photo. I can explain this using one full lecture time, but I just give a summary and show you some photo. This is what we call the airport platform, 個機場大平台within this is to some extent many island. And right now we have the third runway here. This is a not updated illustration. And this photo was taken by me. I have been to the roof of the terminal building. This is North Lantau Expressway, 北大山幹線. Here is Penny Bay. And here, later, they have another railway system linking to Penny Bay. On the other side of the hill here is Penny Bay, on the Disney theme park. That is Dongcheng New Town. Dongcheng New Town. Chiang Mai Beach. Here is Chiang Mai Beach. Here is Kap Sun Moon Beach. And the middle section is the Ma Wan bypass. West Kowloon Reclamation. Before that, Yau Ma Tei Typhoon Shelter, Yau Ma Tei 避風塘 was here. But it need to create a new piece of land. So even the typhoon shelter need to relocate. Here is the typhoon shelter you can see right now. Now, this photo, again, very critical. Here is the pole tunnel for the Western Harbor Crossing. Here is the tunnel for the Dongcheng line. In this little area, we have two harbor crossing tunnel. One is for just usual traffic, the Western Harbor Crossing. The other you cannot see because it was completely underground for the Dongcheng line. You can see Mayfu here, Mayfu here. Also part of the airport core project, here is the Central Reclamation, phase 1. I don't have time to explain the detail here. Just show you some idea. Western Harbor Crossing. A little bit of reclamation was being carried out here to accommodate the approach channel for the Cross Harbor Tunnel. Now, major highway system. I try to make a summary, make the time a little bit further onward, starting from the 60s. Before that, I don't have the time to explain, but after the 60s, I can summarize all this. First of all, 葵涌 Road, 葵涌道, because without the 葵涌 Road, we cannot develop Twin One. Everybody know 葵涌 Road. And Longchang Road opened in 1961. The time is approximate timing, only approximate. And after that, the Twin Moon Highway. Before Twin Moon Highway, Twin Moon New Town is of no use. And in 1972, we have the first Cross Harbor Tunnel. Before that, when we get to Kowloon, we need to take the ferry. when I was a schoolboy. I lived in Wan Chai when I was a little child, and I need to go to Kowloon. We need to take the ferry. Okay, and soon after that, we have the first phase of new territory circular road. 新界循環迴道路it took several phases to complete the circular roadway, and the first phase, the early phase, was constructed almost 50 years ago. And after that, we have the new landwalk tunnel. Well, landwalk tunnel, we have two landwalk tunnel. The first one was constructed in the 1960s, and it's not sufficient to provide the linking traffic between the new territory and Kowloon. So we have the new landwalk tunnel. And soon after, we have the Aberdeen tunnel. Otherwise, Aberdeen is quite isolated without the Aberdeen tunnel. And after that, we have to develop Ching Yi. So we have the Ching Yi North Bridge in the early 1970. But again, very soon, it gets saturated. So we construct the Ching Yi North Island. Just now, the first Ching Yi Island was Ching Yi South Island. The second phase was the Ching Yi North Island. Ching Yi North Island was constructed in the 1990s, about 20 years later. And in the late 70s, we have the Kwun Tong bypass, Ching Yi bypass, to improve the linking between those highway systems. And we have the Island Eastern Corridor, West Kowloon Corridor, 東區走廊 in the 1980s. And Zhang Guan Lo Tunnel. All these are for the development of Liu Town. And the second Harbour Crossing Tunnel was the Eastern Harbour Crossing. It was completed in the mid-1980s. And in the 10 years later, we have the Western Harbour Crossing. And also we got the 大老山 Tunnel. 我唔識讀呢字嘅 T8 cans 係嘛？點讀啊？係嘛？呢個發音我唔識。嗱咁呢個就大老山隧道啊。嗱，其實呢啲好多故事可以講埋嘅。呢咁嘅 highway 咧，其實互相有啲關係嘅。點解發展呢度咧？呢啲互相有啲關係嘅。嗱，譬如話中灣路呢個咧香港仔隧道咧，佢就係紅磡海隧道完咗冇幾耐咧，佢就駁翻通佢，即係駁長啲如果大家揸個車咧，就向香港仔隧道一出嚟咧，就係入紅磡海底隧道噶啦。咁即係互相有關係，但係叫做 limitation in the time provided, I can only give a very brief summary. And we have a big jump after the 1990s, preparing for the handing over, also preparing or associated with the construction of the new airport. So another area I would like to show you about the highway system is after the 1990 or since 1990. First of all, we have the Route 5. The Route 5, we have the Sing Mun Tunnel. This is very important. Linking between the western side of New Territory and the eastern side of New Territory. And the Route 3, is important associated with the new airport. And finally, it almost reached Yunnan. And within the downtown area, we have a lot of traffic congestion. So we need a lot of bypass. Hong Kong bypass is one of the major input, because Hong Kong is the entrance to the Harbour Crossing Tunnel, very, very congested. Even right now, the problem cannot be solved. When you're reaching Jordan, still a lot of heavy traffic congestion. But anyway, Hong Kong bypass can help. And after that, the Deep Bay Link and the Hong Kong Shenzhen Western Corridor. Now, there's a start, a red start here, meaning that these four highway system finally benefit the harbor, the boundary crossing. I discussed quite a lot about Route 8, starting from Tai Wai to Tsing Ma Concourse. That part of Route 8 is only a major part, and after Tai Wai is still further going to the northern part of New Territory. I also mentioned about the Castle Peak Road improvement work. It was done between 2000 to 2004. It took at least 4 to 5 years. And also the Hong Kong, Zhuhai, Macau Beach, Central Wan Chai Bypass, Zhongwan Wan Chai Udong. This is a very complicated project. And Zhongnam Sui Do, Zhongguan Lam Tin Tunnel. Before we have the Zhongguan Tunnel, again, all the time getting traffic congestion. So we need a new tunnel linking to Zhongguan. This is the Zhongguan Lam Tin Tunnel. In short, we call it Zhongnam Sui Do. And also, we have a Zhongguan Cross Harbour Link. It reached to the Yat Hong Seng. And Hang Yuen Wai Highway, we have a new harbour crossing checkpoint. 蓮塘啊嘛，嗰叫蓮塘通道. So we need a highway from linking from the Finland Highway to Lin Town. And just open is the Central Kowloon Bypass. When getting to the Kowloon Bay, it further linked to another highway system called Chung Road Number 2. And right now, about half a year ago, we have a new contract. We call the T4 improvement work. T4 means Chung Road Number 4. This project was quite a big project right now. It cost almost 7 billion Hong Kong dollar, 70億工程. Just doing an interlink between Route 8 and Lan Rock Tunnel. The construction cost right now in Hong Kong is very expensive. Now, I won't show you any detail of this highway system, but I have a link here. You can see that. This is my personal website. I have a lot of my work put inside my website. And when you click into this link, you can see almost all detail of this. I use a PowerPoint to explain almost all of this project in very detail. This is the numbering for the highway system. Let me see the time. Almost time. No problem. I just show you this simple map. You can see the numbering of the Chung Road or the route. We call it the route. Route 8, Route 3. This is what I call the T4 association work. This Lan Rock Tunnel, this is 美林村, you know 美林村. Within this area, it costs 7 billion, 70 億. Now, railway project. I study almost all this project, except the first generation project. For example, Chun Wan Line, Kwun Tong Line, Island Line. This was the first generation railway project. By the time I was still a student studying in Polytechnic. And, but after that, I study all of this railway project. Again, I have a link here. I explain in very detail of every of this project and put into my website. Now, the MTL map. Now, this map shows you the exact location. Now, this only a map. You cannot see the scale. You cannot see the exact location. But within this map, you can really see how the alignment of the railway line goes. We have still some further extension to the existing railway network. And in the future, maybe in the coming 10 years, we can have a little bit improvement to our existing network system. Now, this is the new extension. You know, Gudong. Now, they trying to link up the western and eastern side of New Territory. The Tuna line, to some extent, can link up east and west New Territory. But of the northern side, they cannot. For example, when you're coming from Shangshui, you want to go to Yunnan, you cannot take the railway unless you go this way. It takes more than an hour. So they input a new Lofton Link line, something like this. And we have some new station, like the Gudong Station, Shantian, Ao Tan Mei. Finally, it joined the Kam Song Lo Station. And in Tuen Mun, part of the Tuen Ma Sin, they add 2 more stations. Finally, getting to the Tuen Mun ferry pier, Tuen Mun 碼頭嗰邊. And Dong Chung get in 3 more additional stations. So 1 station, Dong Chung East, and Dong Chung West Station. And in the future, we have an West Island link joining University Station to Aberdeen. This is Dong Chung. This photo was taken by me a few weeks ago, and the Kudong Station. You're going to see the tunnel, of course. It was underground. Now, talk a little bit about this. In the policy address, 施政報告，曾蔭權可能其中一個好偉大嘅貢獻啦就係佢 introduce 呢一個叫做10大基建新嘅10大基建。And what is it? Here is all the 10 items. Some have been completed. For example, South Island Line, the east section. The west section is just under planning. If it was completed, it take almost 10 years later. And Sha Zhong Sin also completed. Tuen Mun Western Bypass and Chap Kok Tuen Mun Link also completed. And Gong Thiet Expressway completed. Guangzhou Daqiao completed. This is not this is only partially completed. In Chap Kok Airport, we have some direct link linking to the Suncheon Airport。即係佢用一種 transit 嘅形式啊！如果你向外國嚟咧，你嚟到赤鱲角咧，你唔需要過關，即係唔需要入香港。咁咧就你可以直接佢有條管道啦，呢個管道當然有啲困難嘅，因為你仍然係 within禁區啊，去到嗰個海邊咧有一條船咧就直去到深圳機場。咁呢啲咁嘅通道咧，有時有啲複雜性嘅，即係等於好多年前咧，向紅磡碼頭啊有個直通車，直通車去上海，直通車去廣州，咁樣你喺紅磡站咧就要過關㗎啦，啊，咁樣你入到紅磡站過關咧，你已經雖然喺紅磡，但係你離開咗香港，啊，咁呢個概念咧，即係關口就係咁嘅作用。咁啊，而家 Hong Kong 深圳 Airport Cooperation 咧，就呢點都做到。咁其實想臨尾做到咧，就做埋一條高鐵性質嘅嘢咧，由赤鱲角通到去寶安機場。但係呢個似乎即係未必會做嘅，甚至話。Anyway，好啦，咁落馬洲 Loop 河套亦都某程度做緊啦嚇。And some new urban development area also introduced by Donald Trump Donald Trump Kowloon Cultural District on the way 開拓 development is quite okay and NDA NDA even 古洞洪水橋is part of the NDA, but right now the focus more concentrate on the Northern Metropolis 北都會this河套there's a lot of scheme being made for the West Kowloon Cultural District. A lot of scheme for development of West Kowloon Cultural District. But the final one is very much different from the original one. Khai Thác development. I follow the Khai Thác development for more than 12 years. Now you can hardly imagine Khai Thác airfield. Sometimes they had temporary usage for a contract period of 2 years. It become a 高爾夫訓練場here. The early stage of the development 最好做 development 咧，就係做呢個 housing 等人入咗先。咁呢個咧就係啟晴邨、德朗邨。講快啲，我用中文啦，可以快啲。咁呢個咧係早期呢啲相咧，我認嘅，即係初期嘅發展。咁嗰個又係好多嗰啲 planning scheme for Khai Thác development but of course the final what we can see right now is not exactly like the original scheme Now, when we talk about Khai Thác development, we need to talk about energizing Kowloon East 啟動東九龍呢個圖你睇到啦，啟德呢一度，咁呢度九龍灣咧叫做呢度觀塘啦，咁 in general we call this East Kowloon or Kowloon East。因為重整一個區咧，有時可以即係重整翻整個城市環境同城市結構所謂 energizing Kowloon East 咧就用呢個概念咁所以重整咧都係一定程度啦咁都可以係一個概念嘅。係咁要講埋最後呢度啦，用多1-2分鐘。咁 我哋永遠都需要土地啦，香港啊，咁所以我哋有時叫做 land formation 造地啊，咁即係又係由80年代開始講啦。咁嗱，將軍澳係個新市鎮，其實咁多新市鎮之中咧，將軍澳咧開山嘅比例好高嘅，以前將軍澳咧係一個好狹小嘅海灣嘅啫，我80年代都去過將軍澳。知我哋香港將軍澳做咩啊？80年代我去游水啊，竟然可以游水啊！嗰個係個灣嚟噶嘛，將軍澳灣嘛，啲水都相對幾清下啦。嗰時80年代係初期，咁咧就即係望落去咧，周圍都係山嚟啫，咁所以大量開山、大量填海嘅將軍澳。咁然後80年代又筲箕灣啊，愛秩序灣，咁香港島成個都係個石山嚟啫，冇乜平地嘅。咁而家去到西灣好似好多平地，其實一邊咧就開山，一邊係平填海。咁嗰個灣叫愛秩序灣，咁個山咧叫愛秩序村啊。咁呢個又都係一個 land formation 嘅一個當時嘅一個唔算細嘅 project。咁頭先我講過啦，菜灣西 formation、Henderson Road 西 formation、水泉澳西 formation。咁跟住造地即係更加靠填海啦。咁80年代中期咧就九龍灣填海，去90年代西九龍填海、白石角填海，東飛做咗迪士尼出嚟啦，東涌填海、中環灣仔填海。嗱，咁呢我強調好多期嘅 various phase，甚至乎連呢個菲律賓咧都2期嘅嚇。咁就然後三跑都填翻嚟啫，卓角都係填翻嚟。咁就港珠澳大橋嗰個海關嗰度咧都係填翻嚟個人工島。咁明日大嶼咧就唔講啦嚇，明日大嶼好多人都落字啦嚇。好，呢啲我唔講啦，我邊好精彩嘅有啲歷史性嘅圖片唔講啦，就跳佢睇啦。呢個場面咧好行得跳嘅，一個國際金融中心裏邊後邊啲大廈都係嗰啲最現代下嘅 modern building，不過而家都落後，而家開始做咗好多新嘅建築好似長江中心第2期同埋嗰個 Henderson Tower， 即係向個海邊起咗一紮新嘅。anyway， 即係好壯觀即係呢啲好歷史性場面，竟然喺一個金融中心出邊咧，咁搞咗填海。咁呢個即係早期嘅啟德。啟德咁臨尾要拆埋嗰個舊嘅機場大樓啦嚇。咁啟德當時做下掘到啲古蹟出嚟咁當時做咗啲考古做咗宋皇台出嚟。咁基建咧就有時有啲叫做結構性嘅建設即係推動香港嘅整體經濟咁呢啲都我認為係一個好關鍵嘅基礎建設咁呢個迪士尼啦，呢啲相咧我認入去當時行咗幾轉呢度香港好多石礦場嘅咁而家都基本都冇，因為幾染污嘅。呢個就係安達臣道石礦場。呢張相咧我認嘅，嗰時我去好彩，仲睇到呢個石礦場嘅營運。咁啲舊區重建咧都好出名啦利東街重建，咁利東街曾經係咁攪搞嘅。咁你知個喜帖街或者專係印呢啲咁嘅喜帖嘛。咁有啲保育嘅工程呢個就係灣仔街市保育。咁呢個高鐵站呢啲都有啲歷史性啦呢啲相唔好攞咗16、17年前噶啦。咁高鐵經過呢度係西九南昌嗰邊。咁呢度中環填海呢張相咧，天馬總部嗰度嗰時仲 under construction 天馬總部。咁呢個保育嘅一個好成功嘅個案就大館咁拆咗呢個油麻地多層停車場，做嗰個中九龍幹線。咁呢個都算係保育啦啩。皇都戲院。 好，咁over 溫咗少少啦